one of the more controversial things that we have done in the legislature, especially the Horry delegation this year, has done an additional 1 penny possible tax and allowed the cities in Horry County to pass it. It is a very somewhat unpopular, but I think very somewhat misunderstood tax. And so I'd like to, if you'll spend the time with me, tell you 3 reasons of why I voted for it, and 3 reasons why it may not sound as bad after I explain it. Hopefully I'll do a better job than the newspapers did, because there was a lot of confusion afterwards. When I ran 8 years ago, or actually 5 years ago for the first time, and ran last year for the second time, I ran as a proponent of home rule, which means that as far as I can for most of the issues, I will look at my home legislators and try to work with them so that they have some options. I have done that consistently. My first year I was the first person that was allowed and able to get the casino vote bill through. And that casino vote legislation allowed Georgetown, that did not want casino votes, not to have them. But it also allowed Horry County for the first time, if they didn't want them, to get rid of them, but more importantly, if they did want them, to be able to put a fee on them. And Horry County residents are enjoying a $2 to $4 million benefit every year because of that, because they are charged an admissions tax. There's another issue that one of a good friend of mine in Surfside wanted to talk to me about, and that's flow control, where they basically determine all the waste products have to go through the county. Now, I don't believe in flow control, because at the end of the day it's going to create a trash pile on the other side of the Waccamaw River that's about 12 stories high. And my philosophy is if we can get our trash to another county and they're willing to take it, I'd rather create that trash pile over there than around our county, especially by a water system. However, that man asked me, who was on the solid waste board, if, since it was a local home rule issue, if I just wouldn't muddle in it. And true to my word, I did not muddle in it. Georgetown County, I found interesting, passed an impact fee. Horry County says they've not been able to do it ever because we didn't give them the ability to do it in Horry County. But Georgetown did it last year. And although I have some positive aspects about an impact fee, their fee was set at $6,000. And I thought that was a fairly steep fee, especially for the first time. But that was my opinion. I am not on county council. That is who you vote for. And that is a decision that they have to address to you. So I, again, did not get involved in it, was not involved in it. I believe that was a matter between local government and their constituents. And they made that decision. And of course, about 2 years ago, there were several people in the state legislature that wanted to determine how the airport system was run in Horry County. I consistently followed the advice of my 3 council members, Howard Barnard and Bob Grabowski and Mike Ryan at the time, and now it would be Gary Loftus, that said that airport belongs to Horry County and the people of Horry County, and we should be making the decision, not somebody up in the state. I agreed. I believe as much as I can in home rule. And so when we were asked by the mayor of Myrtle Beach and the senator that represents the Myrtle Beach area to have the option of doing an additional 1 penny tax, that is, in my opinion, another aspect of home rule. And if I pick and choose what I like about home rule to support or not to support, then I can't be consistent to the people that elected me. So I voted for that. What's interesting is the Governor Sanford, who has said he will never vote for a tax and will never vote for a tax increase, for the same reasons I voted for it, allowed it to become law. Because basically he has campaigned on home rule issues. He viewed it as a home rule issue, even though in his case he said he was somewhat against it. He felt like it was something that he would have to go ahead and allow it to become law. That allows your home, Surfside Beach, Myrtle Beach, Conway, or North Myrtle Beach, to make that decision. Now, is that a good decision or not? You know, we get a lot of questions about spending money, printing money, the Obama effect, Obama taking over General Motors, and the government taking over these other issues. And my opinion is we want business to work. Small business creates 80% of the jobs in South Carolina. We are third highest in unemployment. Why not allow this to occur? And basically, the numbers I've seen, it will not only save 5,000 or 6,000 jobs, it may create 15,000 jobs. And that's just jobs in the tourism market. When those people are employed, restaurants get full, carpets get sold, and cars get bought. I think it can have a tremendous boon to the economy. And so from that standpoint, I think there are some valid reasons to do it. And I don't fault the city of Myrtle Beach for doing it. But at the end of the day, that's their decision. But the one thing that, if you're still listening to me by this time, what I want to talk about is, it really isn't a third penny, and we really need to be fair about when we think about it. Yes, this is an additional 1 penny, but let's think about the other 3 pennies. The first penny is something that the state did. And what it did is it took a penny out of your right-hand pocket, and if you buy $10,000 or $15,000 worth of goods, that probably generates into 1 or 2 pennies, probably $100 or $200. But at the same time, it gave you a 55% tax break on your property tax. That probably benefits you to the tune of at least $1,000. So for the 1 penny that we took out of your right-hand pocket, the state legislature put in probably 5 pennies in your left-hand pocket. That is not a new tax burden. That is a tax shift, and it shifted it from a property tax to a sales tax. Now, the second penny, which your county council did on your referendum, was for roads. Now, I will tell you that if you go in North Carolina and every time you hit the gas pump, the cha-ching, cha-ching is 10 pennies more for every gallon of gas you buy. That's right. In North Carolina, the state takes 10 pennies in addition to what we do down here to build roads in North Carolina. The people of Horry County, and I think it was a wise move, agreed to do 1 penny more for only a certain amount of period, so that their roads in Horry County will be the best roads in the state. And I believe very strongly that we will have the best roads in Horry County, and I think that will benefit Georgetown County too. So again, although it is an extra penny, you are getting roads that for us to provide you might be an extra 10 pennies every time you got a gallon of gas. And the third penny that was on, that we talk about a whole lot, was a penny that I still think was wisely done by Horry County, the residents of Horry County and the citizens. And what that did was, Horry County knows that they're going to have to put X amount of schools and build X amount of schools over the next 10 years. Now, your property tax had 28 mills dedicated to that, because there's 3 parts of your property tax. 1 for school operations. We eliminated that. You don't pay that anymore. 1 for city council, county council governments. That's still there, but that's about 30%. And then 1, which is the 28 mills that was going to build your schools and for school bonds. Well, basically the school board realized that they were going to have to increase your millage on your home, on your car, on your boat, on all your property, from 28 mills to 45 mills to meet the requirements of these schools. That's not going to happen anymore. In fact, you're not going to go from 28 to 45. You're going to go to 28 to probably 10 or 11, because those pennies that 40% of them are going to be paid by tourists, those pennies are going to build your school. So instead of you having to build 10 schools, you're going to have to build 6 schools, and the tourists are going to build 4 schools for you. Now here again, that's taking probably a penny out of your right-hand pocket, but it's putting 2 pennies in your left-hand pocket. So at the end of the day, the penny that we talked about giving the cities permission to charge is a home rule issue, but it's a home rule issue that will, in fact, allow probably the property tax in Myrtle Beach to be lowered. And that is how their city council will decide its fate, and that will be their decision.